Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series. We are taking here the mission 2020 for the Civil Service Examination, and mainly our target is to get into the IAS cadre. So that is the aim, that is the dream, that is the thing that we need to pursue here. And these questions are gonna be the biggest help for you people as in the terms of a daily edition of the knowledge, because these things will come daily, and in the evening in Hindi and English both you get these lessons. And I had discussed that prelims paper also, the set 4 by me, 75 to 100 number questions in the set D, that video will come tonight, and this is how around 50 questions I will be discussing with the prelims paper this year. So full analysis I have made there. I have tried to give you all the details, all the important connections, context, why they asked this question, what was the reason for that, and why that is important, and how we should proceed. So all these things I had discussed there. So you can watch the set 2 by me. That video is already there on the website, and set 4 is gonna come tonight. So that is 3rd of June, and these are the numbers there. You can call and you can ask for all these important pen drive courses by StudyIQ. Very important courses. These are available at 60% off, created by experts and selected people, and very important, these will be for the newcomers now. Now this is the Facebook group where I upload all these PDFs, and there the Telegram link is also given for my channel and StudyIQ's Telegram channel. As you all know about that, there also these PDFs they go. Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. This is one of the World Bank Group's important agency. It is not under the UN direct system of 15th specialized agency. It is not under that. World Bank Group is a different one, and Bretton Woods Conference was associated with the formation of World Bank and the IMF. And World Bank Group has 5 important institutions, and this MIGA and one other is IFC. These two are the private arms, and they are mainly taking care about the MNCs and all these important corporations. So here MIGA actually manages the political risk. It is not about the commercial risk. So that's the case with it, and these all specific agencies, they are taking care about various risks. So here it is taking about the political risk. If any developing country is there, if it is going through any kind of political coup or any kind of big change is going on, some policy disturbances are going on, or some kind of big policy risk is there, then the losses can be a future for the company. So there this risk is managed by MIGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, because they invest in these developing nations, and these companies are mainly coming from the developed nations. So that's the case. So second is wrong and first is also wrong. D, none is the correct answer here. Let's learn about that. Offers political risk insurance and credit enhancement guarantees. And you see, FDIs are the main thing. If the country, if a developing country like India, we can take the example here. So if the political risk is not there, and it's totally a stable system, and smooth system of clearances is there, right policy issues are there, investments are free, and much output companies can observe there. So FDIs, they come automatically. Otherwise there would be a trouble, and ease of doing business and all these things are dependent on these issues. And here political and non-commercial risks, they are taken by this MIGA agency. The headquarters there in Washington DC, and under the World Bank Group. The recent information that came, that Asian Development Bank and MIGA, they will extend developmental finance in Asian Pacific region, and to increase the flow of private sector investment. So these two important things, developmental finance, so it will be holistically for the country and in various sectors, and private sector investment. That is the future, because much privatization is expected in India also. So in this region, in the Asia Pacific region, where many developing countries are there, so they are going through many changes, and here they need both these things, private investment also, and they need developmental finances also. So with MIGA, ADB is targeting that. ADB already is in much highlight, where the biggest infrastructure project of ADB is going on with the Mumbai Metro, where it has invested a lot, and it has invested in other cities like Lucknow, Jaipur, Bhopal's metro projects also. So ADB is very important. Here about the ADB, Manila, Philippines is the headquarter, and president is Nakao, and founded in 1966. Okay, a very important Eastern agency, and it's a developmental bank like World Bank. So World Bank is the main rival, but that's a Western agency, and 68 countries are the members here. And you see, 49 members are the Asian countries and 19 members are from outside of it. USA is also a member of ADB. And MIGA, established in 1988, and parent organization is World Bank Group. Washington DC is the headquarter. So that's important. And here's the list of all the 5 important World Bank Group agencies. IPRD, IFC, IDA. India is the biggest beneficiary of IDA. IDA is International Development Association and provides concessional interest-free loans and grants. And you see, with IDA and IBRD, these two things are developmental agencies and mainly giving support to the least developed and the developing countries. So these two are very, very important, and combinedly they both are called World Bank. And others like IFC and MIGA, these are private arms, and ICSID is for the dispute settlement issues. So it is taking about the investment risk, MIGA is taking the political risk, and this IFC is taking the commercial risk here for the private sector. So that's the case. Okay, IFC and MIGA include investment in the private sector. It is given here. And all these agencies, they are governed by articles of agreement. And there is an executive board of 25 executive directors, which runs the World Bank Group. Next question is regarding the new education policy. Recently, the news came in PIB that K. Kasturi Rangan actually has submitted the draft of a new education policy of 19. And it is to Union Minister, Mr. Pokhriyal Nishank, who is the new Union MHRD Minister. So it is not K. Kasturi Rangan in the first option. It is T. Subramanian, who is late Sri T. Subramaniam. K. Kasturi Rangan is still alive. And you see, there is a whole history regarding that. In 1986, the first education policy came. Then in 92, it was some kind of a requirement there for some upgradation and for some additions. So in 92, it was upgraded. And then in 16, they took a holistic approach there. I will tell you about the history. First, take the second option here. This is correct and this is correct. Draft education policy built on the foundational pillars of access. There should be access to all. Equity should be there. All should be stakeholders here. People, the poorest of the people, all the sections, women, and every section. Quality should be there of the education. Affordability is the major factor here. That is the biggest question mark on the Indian education system, that there is no affordability. All are very expensive. And accountability for sure. So these 5 pillars are there, and they have proposed to rename the MHRD as Ministry of Education. Okay, so maybe in the future this would be turned into Ministry of Education. That is actually needed also, because HRD is a very broad thing, means whole human resource development, means covering all the areas of employment and all, but it should be focusing on the Ministry of Education. That is the recommendation here. So 2 and 3 is the answer. C is the answer here. And let's see the detail here. You see, a Ministry of Education is the recommendation, all these 5 pillars, and ECCE, Early Childhood Care and Education. It's a very sensitive area. It's a new addition, and they are taking it as an integral part of the school education. That early childhood care, that is very, very important. You see, it is mostly the important part of the urban education system for the kids. So it is taken as a holistic issue in the draft policy, and they are changing. They are proposing some changes in the Right to Education Act of 2009 also. They are saying that the age group, which is decided now for 6 to 14 years, that should be changed to 3 to 18 years of age. So that's a positive move. From 3 to 18 years of age of all the kids, they have this right to education. Okay, so that's important. Next, you see, as I told you, MHRD, after this 1992 upgradation, they initiated an unprecedented and collaborative multi-stakeholder, multi-pronged approach and bottom-up, people-centric, inclusive approach, so that they could include all the stakeholders. They could take their important suggestions, and they brought up this important draft. So they went for a committee for evolution of new education policy. And the chairman was TSR Subramanian, the late Sri TSR Subramanian, a very intellectual person. Very important contribution was given by him, and they brought up this draft education policy 16. Now the new education policy draft, that has been given to minister here. Okay, next, CPI for industrial workers. You see, CPI normally is released by CSO office, that is coming under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and it is releasing the urban and rural components of it. But you see, the industrial worker CPI, that is released by Ministry of Labor, And the main competition of this particular CPI IW is with the WPI. You see, it was released by DIPP first, but now DIPP has become the DPIIT, and Ministry of Commerce and Industry is there. So here the CPI IW is a better measure for the inflation measurement, because it takes some crucial aspects. We will talk about that. So second one is correct and first one is wrong, because it is by Ministry of Labor, not by CSO. It is not by Ministry of Statistics, this CPI IW. That's the case, and only 2 is the correct option here. You please note this thing also. I have changed this only 1 to B and only 2 to A. So these kind of changes may confuse you in the exam also. Many students may find it difficult. So A is the answer. Next, WPI inflation is not an appropriate index to determine the impact of price rise. Why? Because on the cost of living, some other important things are applicable. What? Because WPI is talking about the wholesale prices also, the factory rates only of these products, but CPI IW, it is talking about the workers here. So selected services are included here, and the basis of retail prices are taken here, because these are the consumers and these workers are paying the retail prices, so that is taken here. And dearness allowance, which is given to these workers like government servants and all, so that is also taken as important measure here. So these things are included. That is why it is showing a better picture of the inflation scenario. So it's a stable and moderate inflation level with the CPI IW. So that is the case. Next, GSP, Generalized System of Preference. Recently America has ended that after the protest went for the 1st February rulings on e-commerce industry by India. You see, Amazon, Flipkart, these are the important e-commerce giants, and Flipkart was bought by Walmart of America. So Amazon and Walmart, both are American companies, and now we changed the FDI rules, and there is a separate explanation of that. That FDI rule, FDI is allowed for as the automatic route in business to business platforms, but it is not allowed for business to consumer platform. You see, business to consumer means if Amazon starts selling its own built products on the Amazon website, then it's a B2C system. And B2B means like Flipkart. Flipkart is not selling its own products there. It is selling other companies' products, and consumers are coming on the website and they are buying it. It is only providing the logistics and all. So this is B2B business, where automatic route and 100% FDI is allowed, but that is not allowed for the B2C. But these companies like Walmart and these Amazon, they thought that we will sell our own products on the B2C platform, because it's a huge platform. And you suppose Flipkart has so big the network, if they start selling their own products, so they can earn fortunes there. So that is why we changed the FDI rules there, and that was not acceptable to America, and America decided to end the GSP system, where America says that India wants to take all the advantage from our side, and India does not want to give its free market access to America and American companies. So that is why we are ending that. And you see, what is the GSP system? It's a duty-free system for some products, some exported goods by developing countries. Means India is exporting some product there, and that product is reaching up to America, and in America it is an import item. America may add some duty to this import item. Maybe I'm selling it for 10 rupees and it is reaching up to America for 10 rupees, but it is the import duty is added here, and now it can be sold at 15 rupees in American markets. And the same product is available in America for 12 rupees, which is American made product. So people will go for the American made product. If the duty is not there, then they will go for the Indian product, which has reached up to America for 10 rupees, and it is getting sold for 10 rupees in America. So that is the case. So for some products, there are duty-free transitions in the GSP system. So India was the biggest beneficiary, and some Indian export items, they were going duty-free in America. Now this is ended by America. So it's a big jerk to Indian companies and Indian exporters. So it should be resolved. We proposed our negotiations, but America did not given to that, and it is certainly the unilateral, means America only decides about that, non-reciprocal. They did not want anything for as a reciprocation and non-discriminatory. These benefits are normally extended by some developed countries to developing country, like America was extending it to India. So that is the case. So second is correct, first is Wrong, because it is saying that all exported goods. It cannot be possible that on all the goods you do not add any duty. It is not under the GSP system. You see, GSP and the particular MFN status, these two, both are coming under the WTO rules. But this GSP is totally different from the MFN. GSP can be specific for some countries, like America may have specific rules for India. But in MFN status, there will be equal rules for all the countries. If some country is changing norms for some country, then it will be applicable to all. So there is a equal access, but GSP is a specific access there. Okay, so that is the case. Only 2 is the answer here, and the detail I have given to you here. Next, member of Quad Group. In much highlight, Quad Group was Ministry of External Affairs that opened Indian Ocean wing, where it went for the ASEAN policy, which is there by India, Act East policy, and whatever activism is there in the ASEAN region, and all issues regarding that, they will come under this Indian Ocean wing. And the Quad Group, that is also taken under this particular wing only by Ministry of External Affairs for in its foreign policy. So Quad Group, where India, Japan, Australia and USA, these 4 countries are there, and mainly they are targeting the China country here. So China is not a part here. Here D is the answer. Okay, and they are also taking ASEAN Quad and Indian Ocean Rim Association countries here. So Indian Ocean region is mainly the area where Indian External Affairs Ministry, that is putting a target here. So Indian Ocean Wing, they are calling it IOW. I'm writing here. Okay, so that is the case. D is the answer here. And as we go by this, Quad is the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, and proposed by Shinzo Abe, Japan, in 2007 and 08. After that, Australian Prime Minister, he actually backed out from it, but later, after 10 years, in November 17, they renegotiated it in the ASEAN summit, and they thought that we should all go for the revival of this particular Quad Group. So now for the last 1 year, it is under a lot of highlight. So Quad Group. And you see, one more thing is associated here, Exercise Malabar, which is between India, Japan and America, and that is to counter China mainly. So that is the case here. So Quad Group is again the particular group which is countering China in the South Indian Ocean. So that is the case. Okay, you see, these are the Quad countries, and recently the news came that these Quad Group countries, they support the ASEAN-led architecture mechanism. It is mainly for the to maintain the universal respect for the international law, because China is flouting many laws here, and China is being very much aggressive. And here ASEAN architecture mechanism, that is talking about this issue. They are also taking Indian Ocean Rim Association and Pacific Island Forum. So you should know about the IORA and Pacific Island Forum also. This is your homework today. China's military expansion is the main thing here. That is the problem in the international laws, and mainly in the maritime area, and it has problems with all these countries in the South China Sea. And you should go for the South China Sea discord also, that what is the problem, what are these party islands and all, and what is the problem there. ASEAN are the 10 countries. We are not the member of the ASEAN group. These 10 countries are there. We are the member of ASEAN plus 6. Okay, where who are the 6 countries? Japan, China, South Korea and India, Australia and New Zealand. These 6 are the ASEAN plus 6. Next, Amitabh Kant, the CEO of Niti Aayog, they are proposing a task force on project management, but they are pitching it for a dedicated policy framework. But on what area? This is the public-private partnership and public sector project area, where this issue is going on, and for the last 3 days we have been discussing about it, that it's a main agenda for the next government. It should be the main agenda, because we need the partnership between PSUs and the private sector. They both can take it alone. Any of them, they cannot take the growth trajectory here for the Indian economy. They both should go hand in hand. We have to have a major industrial policy here, and we need this important policy framework there. So that is the case. And here it will be applied to all the future projects, and that is the recommendation by Niti Aayog's this particular task force. And you see, we have to develop dedicated workforce here, and they are recognizing that poor project management, that leads to extra expenditure here, and we need to prioritize as per the national importance investment area, and we need to see the economic and social impact of the projects and the schemes. And we need to analyze government programs based on the number of projects and the sub projects. So that is the case here. Next, this is given here, for all the future contracts, this management policy would be applied, which we are calling it national project or the program management policy, and the main practice would be structured project management policy that would be followed here. Okay. Next, Capyficus alavarezi. This is not an algae, it's a seaweed, and it's an invasive seaweed. It poses a threat for the local vegetation and local species, and it survives without any support. So that's why it's a danger, and it is putting a major danger for the coral reef community there. In the Gulf of Mannar, major coral reef communities are there. They are actually found all around the Indian coast in specific areas, but mainly in the Gulf of Mannar region it is too much. And Valai Islands are there, and there this particular seaweed is posing a threat. So it's not an algae. And Gulf of Mannar is not only the area, other areas are also there. Like if I give you the list of other areas, these are the areas: Andaman Nicobar, Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Mannar, Lakshadweep, and Tarkarli in Malwan, in Maharashtra, Gulf of Khambat. In Maharashtra, there is Vijayadurg district, and Angaria Bank is there on the coast. Netrani Island, Shell Reef in Gulf of Kutch. So these are the other areas where coral reefs are found. And this is the Gulf of Mannar region. You can see Thoothukudi is there and Mannar is here, and on the name of Mannar Island, this is called Gulf of Mannar. And Park Bay is also there. Okay, so Park Bay. And the report was submitted to the Ministry of Environment for this issue, that it is posing a threat to the coral reef community. So this SDMRI Institute is there in Thoothukudi, and they said that it has invaded the reef area of Valai Island, and Valai Island is there in Park Bay in Gulf of Mannar. Okay, and it's an exotic seaweed, and some steps were taken in the past also where they banned the cultivation of this seaweed. Okay, so that is the case. Next question is regarding Quality Council of India. They asked a question in 2017 prelims examination regarding that, when Quality Council of India was given the responsibility of Swachh Bharat Sarvekshan. So it's a quality control organization set up jointly by the government and the industry. That is the case. Industry was actually represented by three important industries, three important bodies like ASSOCHAM, okay, and FICCI, and the CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. So these three actually set up this Quality Council of India. It's not a statutory body, it is set up as a non-profit organization. So only one is the correct answer here. And you can see registered as a non-profit society with own memorandum of association. And these three were there, which were very much crucial in the establishment of it. And main issue was of the national quality campaign, and to establish and operate a national accreditation structure and promote quality. That is the case, because quality is the major issue here, and there should be a dedicated body for that. So Quality Council of India maintains that. And Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Commerce and Industry is the nodal ministry for QCI, and it comes under that only. Okay, functions through executive boards, and this is the acronym here. Very important body. These years many questions are there on the important bodies and initiatives. So that is the case. Thanks a lot. Keep watching, and we'll meet